Order filled.
Okay, good afternoon, folks. Sorry about that. I was just trading an evaluation. I don't like to do it on the stream because I trade it aggressively and I don't want anybody really copying. Just in case some people just watch and copy, and I don't want to be responsible for them losing an account. So let me just check. So 56. 56. I'm just setting everything up in. So I hope everyone's had a good weekend. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay, so let me just make sure everything's
Order
coming
submitted.
up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Excellent. Okay.
Order cancelled.
All ready to go. Okay, so Speedy, how you doing? Michael, how are you? Iolis, how you doing? H, how are you? Rodian, how you doing? Okay, so looks like a bit of a bull flag there. So let me have a look. So very little volume again. Chris, how you doing, buddy? Very little volume overnight. This is where we open. So literally, we've just had that. So volume, I don't know whether volume's going to be low again. But it's been ongoing lately. Just not a lot of setups. Yeah, it's just a bit hard going lately. I watched one of Thomas Wade's videos. I think it was yesterday, and he seems to be looking at this CL. Where is the damn thing? On my chart, the CL, there it is. It must be behind there, I think. Where is it? Oh, there it is. Yeah. He seems to be looking at the CL. I looked at it this morning. We seem to have a spike and a channel. So we had a leg up, we had a break, bunch of pushes up to a new high, then we had a leg down. We seem to have like a spike and channel. There was like a second entry short there, and a failure there, trapping some long, second entry long, pushing out fairly. So both of those worked. I was looking for one there. I thought there can't be three in a row, can there? And then they had a bit of an overshoot, and then obviously we had a push out the other side. So got funded 7p. It's good for you, mate. I have paid for them, but are still not showing up. It's strange that, bud, because they're always mega quick. So all I can say is just close this down, close your rhythmic down and open it up again. I'm really surprised. Mine seem to pop up quickly. Or am I talking about... No, sorry, scrub that. It's the evaluations I'm talking about. Okay, may take a bit of a while, but when did you pay for it? Relatively quickly? If you paid for it a while ago, it should be there now, surely. But it has been busy, really. What with the... I closed it already. My dashboard there are showing PAs 140 paid. Yeah, I don't know why. Sometimes strange. Philip, how you doing, bud? I pay the next day once I got the email. So you'd have got the email late in the evening on Friday, wouldn't you? So you paid it Saturday. It should be up by now. The only thing I can say is they're just busy because of... the 90% off, I suppose. You think it's all computerized, don't you? But who knows? But good on you, mate. So, GAT is obviously working for you. It's helping you. Perfect. The Trading Yoga Girl. Hi, new sub. Welcome. Where you from? The Trading Yoga Girl. Where are you from? I think most of you guys. In fact, we've got very little in the way of females. Really, I looked on my which shows you male female is very little. Are you from New York? Are you? Excellent. Okay, I'm from a town in the UK called Shropshire. Now, most of you probably know Shropshire. Well, sorry, Shrewsbury in Shropshire. Most of you probably know Shrewsbury. You're just probably not aware of it. It's where Charles Darwin was born, went to school, and grew up. So I think most people have heard of Charles Darwin. So that's me. It's about, if you're looking at the UK, it's about 50 miles west of Birmingham. So that'll give you a little bit of an idea about where I am, and obviously you're New York. Super. Okay, yeah, there's only a few. There's only a few ladies here. Did you receive your payouts, by the way? Yes, I did, mate. Thank you. Yeah. Some psychology background. Loved that. Ah, brilliant. Fantastic. Fantastic. In fact, in Shrewsbury, where I live, right opposite. So obviously Shrewsbury is quite historical. If you know sort of a little bit about history, it's quite historical. So if you're walking down to the train station in just out of the town centre, on the right you've got a castle which is about 900 years old, and you've got what is now our library. And it's an old stone building. If you go right to the top in the library, up to the top of the staircase, turn left, that's where Charles Darwin, that was his classroom. And if you walk down there, there's like oak benches all on the side with oak backs, and there's names carved and scribbled out there over the years, 1758, 1820. It's if you like sort of history, it's quite eerie going in there knowing about the history. But I was never really interested in history, but as I'm sort of getting a bit older, I am. But yeah, great. Super. Okay, it's always nice to have some new faces. So, that's doing what I thought it might do. A push-up, a little bit of sideways and a push-up. Fail break out of this. But yeah, how long does it take to get them, by the way? What the payouts? It depends. If you've had one already before, it's relatively quick. If it's your first one, by the time because what I believe, if I remember rightly, it's been a while since I signed up, but you sign up to play. Well, because I'm from the UK and I'm international, you sign up to plane. So I don't know whether it's a different pay system isn't it ACH for you US guys? It goes directly into your bank account. But if you're an international trader, it comes via the way of plane. So I'm not too sure. That's the trouble with sort of you US guys. The payment system might be a little bit different. But there you go. Anyway, so yeah, it's volume's low again, isn't it? So just incidentally, Yoga Girl, what system do you trade? Do you trade PATS by any chance, max price action system, or something completely different? Because there's a lot of PATS guys in here. Well, what we call PATS, just sort of short price action trading. But there's also, some people sort of join us just for a little bit of company. Some people join us just to hear someone having a chit chat. But when you've heard me chit chat for a while, you might decide to turn down the volume. But I can rabbit on from time to time. But yeah. So my accounts are building nice now. I'm up to 14. The plan was to get to 20 by June. I'm classing myself as self-employed as a registered business because I'm about to break even. So the plan was to do it in June. So I've got to get 6 more. So a new futures trader coming from options. Well, got you still finding my edge. Yeah, it does take time. It's not easy trading, is it? It is a frustrating old business. I've only really recently, we're talking now over just going to practice. Yeah, practice, yeah. I've only recently stopped revenge trading over the last sort of 2 months. I didn't have a problem making money. I seem to have enough skill now to make the money, but it's keeping it's the problem. And that's it. It's great while you're winning. You feel on top of the world. You feel like I've got this nailed because I've not been trading a long time, around about 3.5 years. But, and then you get a loss or two and then it's almost like you've been knocked back into the dark ages. You sort of lose your confidence a bit. But I seem to be on a nice stable footing now and things seem to be going well for me. So hopefully... long may they continue. So, what are we doing today? Let's just have a quick look. We've got all-time highs up here. So, we may head back there. Now, that could be a leg. Let me have a look. A couple of legs back. So, we had that. Now, some will go back over a couple of days. some won't. So we had that channel that I liked, and we had a bunch of attempt to push high. We came down and made a new low there. So I'm wondering whether we're going to have something like this, maybe. Leg and a leg, maybe. Something in the range of that. I mean, that thing's still going, isn't it? So we're not far from all-time highs. 10 points, in fact, not even that. About 8 points. So, but yeah, it's not easy to trade. How long have you been trading, by the way? So we got a leg and a leg. I mean, this thing's rocking, isn't it? So yeah, we seem to have. I mean, overnight there's just nothing, is there? I mean, you'd have to be sad to want to spend the night trading that, wouldn't you? Mind you, I suppose, you know, some people trade, well, I think what's considered the Asian session. If you change that over to the minute, something like that, the minute chart, there's going to be a stack of, so, I mean, that's overnight. So you could trade that if you wanted to trade something a bit different. So there's always a method, isn't there? So let's have a look. So Edward, how you doing, my friend? So let's have a look at this. So quick glance at the NQ. We've got a leg up, a couple of legs of correction, and maybe another leg up. That's possible. I need to do some yoga, actually. I'm assuming you do yoga. Most people, when they come up with a name, it's something that's relative to them. I've been doing some weights lately and I've been stiff as a board. I know my wife does, what does she do? Canalytic, something like that. Okay, please let this speed up today, otherwise I'm going to fall asleep. So we had that initial flicker. I actually quite like trading evaluations at the open, because if you can work out a direction, for instance this thing, if you can work out what's happening and a direction, usually it'll push off quite strong. My issue I had there is we had one attempt to go higher. When we broke above this bar and started to come down, I thought we may get another leg down. So, but then we broke below here and that started pushing back in. But unfortunately, there's no real entry that tells us this thing's going to take off. You could say a fell breakout out of there. But you just don't know, do you, whether this thing's coming down for a second leg. So, just looking at the CL chart, we got that channel down there, which was an overshoot. Now, there may just be a correction and this could come down, but my guess is that to me looks like it's reversing. It's gone so slow again, isn't it? Come on, people, spend some money. There's not many people trading this thing lately, is there? Volume is definitely dropped. I've been trading 3 years with an 8th month break in after a huge blow up in options. Yeah. I actually don't think a break's a bad idea. At times, you can almost spiral, can't you? I've done it myself, but the trouble is I found it so hard to, well, I mean, I think about a week is the most I've had away from the charts, maybe a touch longer. But But what I will say is, I've been trading now for about 3.5 years, and I've been quite obsessed with it. And I just do not take time off. Even Christmas before last, I traded. Literally, I missed Christmas Day, Boxing Day, and the day after, I just continued. And the trouble is, if things aren't going well, it's like being in the middle of a bad marriage. You're just constantly on edge, and the slightest thing sets you off. So this Christmas, I actually took the whole period off, and I came back feeling really refreshed. And that actually improved my trading. Things have definitely felt different since Christmas. So I do think if you are struggling, sometimes a break, it really does, doesn't it? Sometimes a break, it really does clear the mind, and you need to, because it's just, I went for a period of being constantly frustrated, constantly jittery, constantly on edge. Even my wife said that I was grumpy. She said she'd dread me coming down, from trading, because I'd be grumpy. She'd be looking at me as if to say, okay, what's happened? But I'd say the last 2.5 months, she said, I've seen a difference in your mood. Things are better. I'm a lot more balanced. I don't find trading as stressful as I used to find. And also as well, I don't know if a lot of you may know, when things go wrong, it feels almost impossible to have self-control. It's like someone steps in, takes over the steering wheel, and you've got no choice on where the vehicle's going. But after a while, something will change. And that's what happened to me, really. Something just does. It's changing that mindset. So, we know we can change the body, and the body can adapt. We can obviously do the same in the mind. So, if you wanted to sort of, put some weight, lose some weight, or to put some muscle on, you can start going down the gym, and within a month or a few months or something like that, you can physically see a change. But in your mind, you can't really see what's going on. If someone's got a broken leg, you can clearly see they're not well. They shouldn't be at work. But if someone's suffering from stress or anxiety, you can't see it. It's not, so it's, but it does go in time. You can't have that same amount of anxiety and stress and all that doing the same thing day in, day out, and it not change. Send you a nice bottle of scotch. You're still waiting for yours, Brunt, aren't you? No, I drink them. I don't send them away. If I opened a new one on was it Saturday night? What did I buy? It was a Glenfiddich. A bottle of Glenfiddich, the Orchard Edition. It's been sat in a Somerset cider cask for the last 3 months. There's a slight hint of apple to it. But yeah, if you're sitting around waiting for me to send you a bottle of scotch, I do apologise, but you're probably going to be waiting a while. So, oh my God, please tell me this is going to speed up. So that ATR has just really dropped. It almost looks like a bank holiday, doesn't it, when it's half-day trading? There's just nothing there, is there? Considering we're actually moving in a direction, you think if we're pushing up, traders might decide to have a go. When it's like this, I can understand why, people hold on to the pennies. Yes, I did, mate. Yeah, I mentioned it about 10 minutes ago. Which is interesting, actually, because it's just nice to have clarification from other traders that they're finding setups. So he was messing around with a CL chart, wasn't he? He went from, he went from the 1,000 to the 750 to the 500, which is what I've got above my head. And Vlad is doing that as well. In fact, there's quite likely some setups there. We seem to have a bit of a spike. There's a failure there. We've kind of bounced 3 times here, and that looks like it's pushing up. So they may trap some longs there. So there is a failure which worked. You may take that as a hidden second entry short as well, which worked. But to be honest with you, if I can get 1 trade a day, that's a big improvement on what I'm getting now. But yeah, I did see So Mac doesn't talk much about it. Or does he? He doesn't seem to talk much about why it's like this. You know, I know apparently, you know, with COVID and the volatility of that, but how does that matter how a setup forms? I just don't get it. The trouble is when you're like us and you're a retail trader, you've got no sort of formal training. We've just had to sort of pick it up off our own back. You know, whereas if you worked in a bank, an investment bank or something like that, you'd know exactly how things work. So, channel up with a break. It's the volume, low volume, less setups. Yeah, maybe. I suppose if there is more money, it flicks around a bit more, doesn't it, I suppose? But yeah, I like what Thomas Wade had to say, you know, look through the various different tick charts. But it is finding something where there starts to be some setups. I don't know if you remember, Brant, I looked at the 1,000 tick chart maybe 7 or 8 months ago. And sometimes I think we had this channel up here, we had a break. So we had a break with a second entry long and a higher low. On the 1,000 tick chart, that was the best looking higher low you've ever seen. And on the 2,000 tick chart, there was just 3 big green bars. So it is definitely worth looking at some other charts, because if you're sat here for 4 hours, you know, 3 or 4 hours every day and only taking about 3 trades, you've certainly got some spare time on your hands. You know, if you were taking 4 or 5 trades, I'd say sit tight and just focus on this. But, you know, we pretty much know we're not going to be going along up there. So, you know, you only need to keep an eye on this chart. You don't need to be glued to it, you know, unless it's coming down to an area that you may look to trade. But you're not going to take long trades up here, and you're certainly not going to take short trades. You know, this is the area where you need to keep your eyes on it. So there is enough time to look at other charts for sure. I used to watch, if I remember you talking about the 4,000, but now I'm trading at work, so I don't have all the screens. Yeah, that's the trouble, isn't it? See, if for me, from a streaming point of view, you've got 2 screens really, which are tied up with YouTube and OBS. So you have kind of less screens, but okay. See, my issue with taking a long here, it's going to have to be the higher low, I think, because we've had some sideways, we've had a breakout there. So this, I mean, it may fail this, but for me, it's gone quite high to fail. NQ just bounced at support. Yeah. See, looking at NQ at the moment, it's hard to say we could have a leg and a leg. Leg, correction, leg. It's not far, it's not a perfect measured move, but sometimes it just doesn't. But I mean, this could come back into this range. It could have 2 legs down. It could have just like a leg and a leg, a correction and push up for another leg. It's hard to say. Unfortunately, I'm not going to take the higher low if you get one here. There's something about this I don't like. That looks like a leg to me. It may trigger your push up and come down another leg. This looks the type of move that could be a correction as opposed to just a break. Let's have a look. Okay, so we've got a little channel there with a break. Okay, a break and a new low. Just looking at that NQ chart as well, possibly 2 legs down. It's hard to say really. So if you think that's a channel, we've already had a break and a new high. So Okay, so that would be a second entry long. Now I'm leaving this one because the EMA is flat. It's a bit congested. I would prefer the higher low. If we can get a higher low from here, then I think the chance of us pushing up, breaking these highs go up dramatically. But that, we've got a leg down and one push up. We may get a second push up and another leg down, in which case if we did, it would trap that second entry long. Now that second entry long may just work. But I find second entry longs a little bit unreliable at the moment. So I would prefer to wait for the higher low. Because we've got a leg down, we could have one attempt to go high, second attempt to go high, which could fail, and it could come down and test this. So we'll see. May go, but I'm happy to let it go. That EMA is flat. It's a little bit sideways. I tend to, if it doesn't feel right, I avoid it, and I tend to go on what it feels like now. After a while, when you've been looking at charts and set up so many times, you get the setup will form in a certain way, and you just won't like it. And that to me looks risky. And when you see that trigger and this start to come down, that's not what you want to see. That's 11 ticks, so point above, tick below. It's just over a 3-point risk. I got 14 accounts. I'm not risking $4,000 odd on that. Now it may hold. It may come down a little bit and continue on up, but for me, that's it's just got caution written all over it to me. Sometimes it'll do that, give you a little teaser. If you don't jump in on it, it might give you another teaser, and then all of a sudden you jump in, it drops. I'm not saying it's going to, but I've seen this pattern and I've looked at it before. Now, it may work, but that's fine. It's not a trade I want to take. Sometimes it'll do that. It'll almost suck you in and then down it'll come quick. So if you didn't get on that first time, you may think, oh, look at it now. Let's just jump in now. I'm going to miss this massive push up. And then it turns. So it may well go, but I've been in this scenario before, and I get a bad feeling. Thomas, hello mate. Sorry mate, I didn't see you there. How you doing? Maybe more people trading. We would need to get a higher tick chart to compensate. Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? I don't quite know how it works. I mean, Mac's been using a 2000 tick chart. Well, I know he has for at least 12 years, if you look back on his videos. So, I mean, what I will say is if you look back on his videos, and he talks about a maximum 2-point risk. Now, you know, with the exception of today's exceptionally low. But sometimes you can't do it. So the way I see it, if your signal bar and the risk bar is larger, your profit bar has to be. You can't have a supermarket and all of a sudden your supplier puts the price of your milk up. You can't continue to sell at the same price in your supermarket, otherwise you'll go out of business. You know, the risk, the cost price, and if I take a signal bar, if that's my signal, that's my cost price if it goes wrong. So if that cost is getting larger, you have to charge more for your profit. So this looks like it may go up. But not only that, on the NQ, it's clearly just stuck at the moment. Dropped a limit order and 8 ticks back from that signal bar. Good on you, mate. It may work, but I've seen this scenario in my head before. Comes down, breaks, comes down again for another leg down here, or a correction. Not only that, it's 3.25 point risk if you put a tick above and below it. So I just don't want to risk that. So if I'd have bought that a tick higher, see, I'd have only got 1.25 point at the moment. There you go. You made 8 ticks risk. Yeah, I mean, you can take it down here for sure. It wasn't just the size of the bar. I'm just not a massive fan of it. I prefer the higher low. I've just seen this before. It gives you a few teasers and comes down. If I don't think it's going up, you know, if I think it's going to come down for a second leg, it doesn't matter whether it goes up 1 point or 1.25 point or 1.5 point. It's just the fact that, you know, I don't think it's going to go up to break these highs without. But you don't know, do you? But I think as you trade and as you learn and as you lose trades, you know, pretty much now I can look at a trade and go, I won't have to think, yeah, but it's this, it's doing that. I just either want to jump into it or I want to just leave it. Because I just get a feeling, and it is, when you've got money on this, that picture will get welded into your brain, and when you've got enough of those pictures in your brain, when they come around again, something just won't feel right, especially if it continues to, you know, you get a loss every now and again. So let's see what happens. You may get higher low here. I'm still not sure about this, partly because the NQ is sideways, so we've had a leg and we are just not going up, so this may decide to take a bit of a drop, so it's another reason not to get into a trade, or it may be that we're going a little bit sideways. That's a possibility as well. Let's put that there. So that may work, but I'm not taking a trade there because to me it's congested now. So I'm not taking a trade to go long here, 3/4 of the way up from the bottom. So yeah, you may have got in on the limit order. But if I'd have got on a tick above there, which is about there, I'd have squeezed 1.5 point out of that because it's got to push through. So as soon as I'd have got in, once it starts to go sideways, I'll be wanting to get out. And once it goes sideways and starts to create a little bit of support, that's when I draw this. That's when I draw this small range. So I'd like to see more of a correction, leg and a leg. So let me just check that there's nothing larger there. There's always that possibility, but it's more of a could be. See, based on that, how I've got that drawn, that would look like a very attractive entry to take, but trouble is you just can't in all good conscience take that. We're clearly struggling to get above there. Now, whether that's just the way things are at the moment, but I just can't go long there. You have a feeling of what's going to happen. But it's a feeling. So it's gone too far for a higher low, that has. But it is sort of looking like that, isn't it? 2A plus engulfing bars in an uptrend. Probably going up, yeah. Trouble is, we're up to, we're in a bit no man's land now, are we? Is this just going to be a bigger range? We're coming up to all-time highs as well, so you don't know how people are going to react. Are they going to start to take profits? I don't see it coming this close, not making an alt. Yeah. It did it, we had this push up, it made a new all-time high, and then we had that big drop. Well, I say big, it wasn't that massive, but it was large enough. Yeah, I mean, we had a drop like that a month ago when we were up to all-time highs. It was 120 points over the space of about 2 hours, so in the grand scheme of things, it's not a huge move. But that might be a leg with a correction, another leg, so we could potentially get up here. But I don't like any of this at the moment because it is a little bit congested. Granted, that did push up, but how far is it going to go? I can't see how you can take that into support, because look what's happened. Once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. That couldn't get past it. That couldn't get past it. That went up and dropped. So I just couldn't, in all good conscience, go long into that. What I'd like to see is one attempt back, second attempt, so 2 clear attempts to go lower, and the right setup here, I would go long. It's just too close. You know, it may work, but you can't deny all that support there. We've clearly struggled. We've come back. We've struggled again, and we've come back a bit more. So, you know, you've got to look at this bigger picture. As much as you think it might, and my gut feeling tells me it was going to push up, but I've learned to not go on gut feeling. I stay out of a trade because of gut feeling. And I've got my opinion on where I think the market's going, but you know, as much as I think it's going up, as much as it does exactly what I think sometimes, I still can't take a trade unless it's a proper setup. And I never thought I'd be saying that, because going back a year or so, if it looked like it was going up, I'd be buying, and vice versa. But you learn over time. You have to stick to your rules. It's very tempting to jump in, you know, but trust me, you know, most of you have been trading a few years now will know, if you think it's going up and you jump in, guaranteed it'll turn the opposite direction. So if you did take that, what did you get? So if you went a tick above that, you wouldn't really get that on a limit order. So if you went a tick up that, you'd have got a 1.25 at a push at the moment. But the trouble is, look where you are now and look what's happening. It's going sideways. It may work, but it may come back in. So you just kind of, well, from my point of view anyway, I couldn't take that trade, but everybody's risk's different. You know, some people might think it's worth it. Another thing I find a lot of times, the slower it goes up, the quicker it drops. Yeah, just looking at the NQ. We had sort of 2 legs back, but then it went sideways, didn't it? You may take that because it's off the right place, isn't it? But that's part of the reason why I decided not to go long there, because we've had one attempt to go high. It's just finding that hard to read there. There you go. So what would you have got off that? So a tick above it. So you'd have got 2 points off that. Trouble is, it's you could. It's not really a high or low that because it's gone up too far. It's a spike in a little mini channel with a break. Now I've put that channel there, so you may think that's a channel, and rightly so. But the trouble is, if you go, we've been up here once and it came back twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times. We've been up here about 6 times, and we're clearly struggling. And sometimes what happens with this is we'll have one leg back and a second leg back before it goes off. And that's the trouble there. It could go up another couple of ticks and retest its highs again and come back for this second leg. So I've taken trades like that before, but it's so close to support. So it is more risky. Now, if it had been a bit of a smaller bar, I may have had a go at it. But if you take a tick below it and a tick, no, it was bigger than that, wasn't it? Surely, I thought it was 11 ticks, wasn't it? Let's have a look at that. ATR is low, isn't it? Oh, it wasn't as big as I thought. Oh, sorry, it was that one, wasn't it? Sorry, my mistake. So tick below, yeah, that was it. It's 3 1/4 points, so it's just too much risk for me. That is 3 1/4 points. That's $325 times 14. It's a chunk, and for me, it's just not a trade that I just think, wow, that's a beauty. I get a feeling with a trade if it's a real solid setup. Now we have got a little channel with a break, but it's just too risky, really, for me. That I definitely wouldn't have taken just because of the trading into support. That I don't think was a terrible trade. That one extra risky because of the support there, but I'm just not a massive fan. So that for me, whether we're getting a break or not, I don't know. So I'm leaving that. Now, what might be happening here, and I wouldn't be surprised if it did, it happens a lot, is we're just making up some range highs now. Okay, I'm just going to take a quick 5-minute break and make a cup of tea. My daughter's just got home. She's had a work experience today, so she's had her first day in work. So it may be something like that anyway. So I'm going to take a quick 5-minute break, make a quick cup of tea and say hello to her. And then I will be back. 5 minutes. Okay. What are we seeing here? It's losing a little bit of momentum to me. So, let me have a quick look at bookmap. Yeah, it's hesitating to me. It's losing a bit of momentum. We're getting very close to these all-time highs again. So whenever I see this, it's slowly grinding up. It can come down quickly. So a tick above that went for when do we say about there? So you'd have got 2 points comfortably off that. You got to push through to there. So you'd have got 2 points off that trade. It's just too close to these highs for me. You can get stitched there. So not only that, you've pushed up, you've got a bearish bar. You don't know whether it's going to trigger above it, create a lower high, and then come down for a second leg. So I'll put it there as a risky, which is why I didn't take it. That one I didn't like. Channel down, one attempt to go higher, second attempt to go higher fails, comes down for a second leg and a leg, retest the tops of this highs, which is why I left that one. It's not even really a high low, that's gone too far. In fact, let's put that there. That I wouldn't have taken because of this. It's going a bit sideways, that is. And the bar's large. If the bar finished down here, I may have a go at it, but it's a little bit sideways and a bit congested. Look what's happening now. This could come flushing down, take out that stop. Yeah, it's just consistently sideways on the NQ. Another reason to be so careful. Slow again. Just so dangerous to trade this. There is a failure there. We've pushed up once, twice. There's a failure there, but it's sideways. So it's just too risky. If it wasn't so much sideways, I may have a go short at that. But the trouble is, one, it's sideways. Two, price hasn't closed below the EMA since this, back from here. And at the moment, we've got the same picture on the NQ. It hasn't, well, it hasn't closed below since back here. So for over an hour. It is sideways congested with ever so slight Trouble is, it could continue to go sideways and push up, could come down, but this is just untradeable, really, this. And if that's the picture on there, there's just nothing you can do here, unfortunately. I'd have taken that on an evaluation, but not on a PA. Because touch, you can clearly see it's a little bit sideways. I'm not saying it's a terrible trade. I don't think it's a bad trade, but it doesn't jump out at me because we could have a leg down there, a couple of attempts higher. That could have pushed up and come down for a second leg to here. My concern was it was going to retest this. So, you know, something like that. That would, I mean, if it triggered above there to there, I mean, look at that, leg down, 2 pushes up, leg down, bounce and then move up. That could be a correction, 1 leg up, 2-legged correction. So that's why I never took that. Don't worry if you
Order
hear
filled.
something. It's all right. I've got an evaluation here with not a lot of money left on it, so I'm just taking a risky trade on the CL. Not a lot left on this one, see, so.
Order filled.
It may end up blowing, but that's all right. No, there isn't, bud. How you doing, Mo? Yeah, my concern is it does this. Ends up a range. I mean, let's face it, I think it ranges about 85% of the time, so I'm all right, mate. Absolutely in a good place at the moment. Finally found some control. Trouble is, been up here multiple times again, and this may push it up. Yeah, I don't know. I don't like any of this at the moment. Push, trapping the longs. It could just be making some range tops there. If that comes down, breaks below there, then we could come back into this. May end up being a range there. I mean, you'd be mad to take that, really. Right up with the highs. You don't know what's going to happen. And also, we are getting very close to this all-time high. Sometimes it just pushes through it like a breeze. But other times when it gets close, we get serious pullbacks.
Order submitted.
Yes, it's all right, but it's an evaluation. I've got two evaluations here. One's nearly at its limit, so I'm just taking one trade on the CL, mate. That's all. There's not a lot left on it, so I'll just let it play out. They're only $16 at the moment, see. So yeah. Did I worry you, did I? Yeah, I can see it down here. Q eats in the big orders. Oh, Christ on a bike. That dropped quick. Wow. It's all right. I'm just looking at this CL chart. It just dropped in a second. Can't remember the last time I saw a bar drop that quick. That was some serious selling, that was. Come on, baby. Down you come. Come on.
Target filled.
Oh, there we go. A quick $800 on the... That was quite clear. Leg down there. Couple of legs up. I jumped in here somewhere. Looked like we are going to have a couple of legs down. We had a massive overshoot on there. Push up, big overshoot, and it was clearly coming down. That bar dropped from there to there in a second. Not seen a bar drop that quick like that for a while. higher low here, but I just can't go long there into all this. We're struggling at the moment. We have broken above that big bullish bar. When it goes slow like this, I see it all the time. It often just drops quick, takes out a quick rush down, takes out some long stops. It's going very slowly and grinding up, so I'm staying out of everything here at the moment. Joel, how you doing? Sometimes you're backtesting a strategy and it's doing amazing. When you decide to trade it live, sometimes the results you get are usually a little different. Yeah, possibly. But I think if you're backtesting something and you're having some success with it and then you go on to live money and you take a loss, just might be unfortunate there was a loss due anyway, but because you're actually doing it on a live account, psychologically you're thinking, wow, it's not working now. So, but I know what you're saying. You know, because all trades lose from time to time, but if you happen to take half a dozen trades, you're back testing them on, say, the CL chart, and you think this is great, and then you move on to live, and then you take a loss. I think you can't help but think, it's not working or it's different, but sometimes we just take losses. It's just unfortunate if it's your first trade. So that is a higher low. I wouldn't take it. Because we're clearly struggling to get up here. This may trigger, come down and give us a lower high, or it may work, but it's going sideways and slow, so I'm just not getting involved at the moment. It's hard to trade this at the moment because it is very sideways. In fact, it'd be good to get into this because whether we decide to drop down or push up, but hopefully, trouble is, do you really want to go long this close to here? Because you can almost guarantee there's going to be traders taking profits there. So you really want to go long into all that when you're thinking there's a shed load of traders going to go short there. When we got up there last time, we had a failure and then wham, it dropped, had another go and dropped again, and then we continued on down. So if you are going to take this, I certainly wouldn't be thinking about going long closer there. Whether that holds any value or not, I don't know. But there are traders. I mean, we had these two there and maybe catch something going up there. There's going to be traders taking profits up here. Thanks for that anyway, Chris. It wouldn't be the first time that's happened before that I've had something out, but yeah, there's a little bit left on that eval, so I thought I'd just throw it in on something that looked half decent on there. CL. Anybody watch the Tyson Fury fight, did they? I thought it was a thoroughly entertaining fight, actually. Good on the other guy. I think it was rightly so. He should have won. I'm amazed the ref stopped it. Yeah, it was good. To be honest, did anybody else agree with that? Why did the ref stop it? He didn't go down. The ref potentially saved Tyson that fight. He shouldn't have been. It shouldn't have been stopped as even a standing count until he went down. It should either have been stopped or left because he was going down. And if he'd have been hit 2 or 3 more times and hit the canvas, I don't think he'd have got up. So I mean, they stopped him, give him the standard 10 count, and then the round finished. It shouldn't have happened, that, really. I don't know if anybody else thinks that, but it was a really good fight. But he's losing a bit of support, isn't he, I think, Tyson Fury. I mean, his dad acted like a complete moron. That was embarrassing. If that was my dad, it'd be flipping embarrassing. Headbutting somebody, it's ridiculous. But yeah, and then saying it was to do with the war. They've got a war, that's why it swayed the judges. I think he's going to regret saying that, but it was a really good fight, actually. A really enjoyable one. Some of them aren't that. Some of them are over quite quick, but it went the distance, and I think the right man won anyway. So, are we going to get a flush down? In which case, that'll go, I think. That may hold. We've actually got some big fights coming up, haven't we? Mixed martial arts as well. We've got the Tyson and the Problem Child. That'd be an interesting one. In fact, I'm looking forward to watching that one more than anything. I think if Tyson doesn't win it in the first round or the second round, I don't think he will. Tyson's always had that explosive start, isn't he? But once it starts to get 4 or 5 rounds, he starts to struggle. And that's just typical big guys. Big guys, they're very strong, very explosive, but they tend to lose it. But if he catches Jake Paul earlier on, it'll be curtains, I think. And we got there's a load of mixed martial arts one. Conor McGregor's up again. That'll be interesting to see how long he lasts. I think he's been out of the game for too long.
Order filled.
Take a small trade on the CL again, just on an evaluation, so don't panic. We've had an overshoot, 2 measured legs and an overshoot, so it is risky, but there we go. There's not a lot left on it. I think we're going to get a flush down here. We're at the tops here. We'll lose a momentum there. I'd like to see a drop. Sam, I think 3-second entry was a decent trade. 07. That one there. I don't think it was a terrible trade. My concern was, and I'll tell you what my thought process was. I had this as a range like that, and I think it looked pretty good. Now, my concern was we were going to have this a leg and then a leg, and retest these. And the reason being is we came down, we had one attempt higher, came down, and a second attempt. My concern was we were going to trigger that, so leg down, 2 pushes up, and then another leg down, which should take us down to retest these tops. That was why I left that. So partly I left it because of that, and partly because it was a 3.25 point risk, a tick above, tick below. So that's why I left it. Now, I didn't think it was a terrible trade. One, it's also slightly congested as well. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4. You can clearly see there's something working across there, and same here, 1, 2, 3. So you just don't know. That was my concern. Leg down, 2 attempts to go higher, leg down, retest these tops. Often when we push above this, we come back and retest it. So there was a couple of reasons why I didn't, to be honest with you. But I don't think it was a terrible trade. Enough. You took on the... Oh, I'd have taken on an eval, yeah. I'd have taken on an eval. You know me on evals. I take them with my eyes shut sometimes. Okay, so we had what I thought a bit of a flush down. That's got taken out. Let's see if this holds or not. The way that NQ is coming down, I'll be surprised if it does. It's just not going anywhere. It's clearly struggling to get up, and that's what concerns me about taking, you know, trades like that or that. So we could be laying down sort of range tops. Okay, so we've had a break and a push up. I won't be going long here. See, I'm happy to get rid of that. You know what, we've only really touched it once. We come from here and touched it once. We pushed through it there, so that I don't even think is really valid. So tops, couple of legs up, failure, and comes back into the range. Excuse me a second.
Target filled.
Okay, sorry about that. Another quick $500 on the CL. So, is this coming down? I wouldn't even take a short here, to be honest with you. I'd like a couple of times push down, second entry short. That's only really a pullback, but we've got a lot of support along there. So, let me just see if there's anything else. It's possible, but it's hard to say. We've missed a lot of this, really, so I'm just saying no for now. Yeah, I just took a risky trade on the CL. Massive overshoot, 2 perfect legs. Just took a trade down here somewhere. Push straight up, just back to the EMA. Clearly 2 legs, a little bit of an overshoot. I expected that to get back to the EMA, so I just took a quick $500 trade there. More of a gut feeling, really. But yeah, it's push up, clear overshoot, touching these highs and then working its way down, leg back, another leg back. So I'm just trading one evaluation. There wasn't much left on it, so at least it's looking a bit healthier now. see, I think there's going to be traders thinking about going long here. And I would have been one of them a while ago, but this to me is struggling to get higher. So I think if there's a second entry long, it may trap and come down, but we've clearly got support there. We've had 2 pushes above it and we've pushed straight down below it. So for me, it's struggling to get up. So I think it's going to come down. So I'm certainly below bars like that and possibly that. If we can get a second entry short here, then I may take it, but I'll have to see what it's like. But I could be completely wrong, but it's struggling to get up for me. So and it's testing this underside at the moment. So really we had the channel with a break. We had 2 pushes up to a new high. Came back, a little bit of sideways with what looks to me like a failed breakout. That's pulled back in. So if we are testing this underside, I think it may be likely we got another leg back, which would take us down to around about here somewhere, slightly below there, I think. Well, actually on that, unfortunately, it's gone too far for a lower high there, although it may work, and it looks like it's going to work. There's just no setup. CL and NQ. Yes, I have, but I've got the NQ to my left. I'm looking at that now. And I've got the CL top left. I'm just trading this on one evaluation at the moment. So yeah, I'm not trading the NQ. I'm just looking at that just for a different opinion. But yeah, it's a bit hard to read this. I mean, it kind of looked like it was going up, but I think it's more a break, 2 pushes high, a little bit of sideways, and an attempt to push up, which looked like it failed. Came back and tested it a few times with a big bearish bar. So my feeling is we may have another leg down to here. It may come back in. It may just be a bigger range day. We pretty much had a range day Friday with the exception of that little bit of it's just a breakout which failed, and then obviously we had something in the other direction, but we're getting close to all-time highs, so it's hard to see at the moment. I've made far more on the CL than the ES today, really. Minus 690 on the CL. What are you trading on the 500 tick, Chris, are you? Well, this is a 500 tick, so that's what I marked. We had this little leg down, and it looked like a spiking channel. So there was like hidden second entry long there. I didn't take any of these, to be fair, but I marked it. Then you got this, and I think you can look at that as a triple test. So you got this channel down, one attempt, second attempt, third attempt, and not only that, it's clearly dropping every time. So that one, you would think, would the straw that breaks the camel's back. So, and that just came down nicely. But yeah, actually, it is a triple test. Wilson, shush. Excuse me a sec. I'm just going to kick a dog. Sorry about that. But where were we? Yeah. So that's actually a second entry short, which same again, 2-push up. That's the triple test for me. In fact, I didn't even notice it a triple test just because it's, you tend to think triple test at the same level, but the fact that it's not getting as high each time is a good reason to take that, I think. But I'm just trading on an evaluation at the moment, just having a bit of fun with it, play around with it, get the feel for it a bit. And obviously evaluations are $16 at the moment, so it's almost like Monopoly money, really, isn't it? So it's the first time I've traded this with anything, so let's have a little look. CR 500, yeah. It seems Vlad's trading it, and Thomas Wade, whether he's trading it, he's certainly talking about it. I think he's realised setups are struggling, I think. There's not a great deal around, and you either just sit here for 4 hours day in and day out and maybe get 3 or 4 trades a week, or you look for something else. I think it's always good to have both. It's not too difficult to trade the two. You know, we pretty much know where your setups are going to go. You can't take a trade as, up here. We pretty know the areas where we come back to take trades. So it's easy enough to look at 2 charts. Obviously, as long as you've got the screens. But yeah, and also if anybody does know, if I just flick that back onto a sim, if I was going to take that short there, if I sell
filled.
That, it's actually let me just close that a sec.
Order
Let's
filled.
put it down to 2 contracts, 10 ticks. That seems to be so. Let's just short
Order
that one.
filled.
So I've got this set to 10 ticks, but if you look where the signal bar, well, obviously, I haven't got it in the right place, but 2 contracts, 10 ticks seems to be about right for this. If you look at the distance, that's about right. So if anybody isn't looking at this, maybe worth looking at if you're struggling, to find setups. But that kind of works pretty much the same point for point wise as the ES. I've just jumped in there, average risk bar from there to there. I mean, if you pick that bar for a starters, which is a relatively larger bar, so if you put it, you stop above there, 260 risk, 2 points, $200, which is 10 ticks profit. So it's pretty straightforward, this.
Order
so
filled.
Definitely worth a look, especially if you're not finding trades on what's the $506. So hard to trade this.
Order filled.
Okay, now this is interesting. Leg down, 1, 2 attempt to go lower. How's it going? Tech, how you doing? How you doing? That's interesting. I like the way it triggered above there and pushed down. So leg down, 1, 2 attempt to go higher. It's actually a second entry short. That is. It is a little bit congested, and it's even worse on here, unfortunately. Yeah, there's nothing you can take on here at the moment. It's just clearly sideways. It's even worse. Actually,
Target filled.
seal. Just can't do nothing with this.
Order filled. Target filled.
Okay, beautiful. Another quick $700 on that. That's getting up to a better level now. Riskier trade, but it's just on the what's it. As this started to come down, I just sold here. Pretty much that's coming down. Risky, but it's just on this one evaluation. There wasn't much left on it, actually. It's back to where it was now. So you just can't trade any of this. It does look like we're having a second leg down. It's a bit clear on the NQ. Leg down, 2 attempts to go higher, trapping some longs, and then down to maybe these lows. You don't know how low it's going to go, but I would certainly suggest to somewhere around about there, maybe. So we had a break, 2 legs back, 2 clear legs up, large. In fact, yeah, you can say that, can't you now? Wasn't as clear. So we got a break from missing the way of 2 legs back and 2 legs up. Look at that. Beautiful. Beautiful. Didn't close above there. So with a channel up, 2 legs back. Yeah. It doesn't seem like a terrible trade, that now, all of a sudden. And then 1 leg up in the way of 2 smaller ones and another leg up in the way of 2 smaller ones. And we're at the highs now. So it can reverse now. So this looks to me like leg down. So might dip below 40 now. Yeah. So that's clearly making a bit of sense. Yeah, same there. So it's a little clear on there. So leg up. Yeah, not as clear on there. It's a little bit clear on the NQ. So leg down sideways like a bearish bear flag. Leg down sideways, leg down. But I'm just staying out of this. Nothing you can do really. mean, sod all volume. You know, going back a while, this is the sort of volume you get overnight. Market's been open nearly 2 hours. Let's have a quick look at bookmap. Yeah, this is hard, really. There are equal amount of liquidity above and below. We're kind of right in the middle of the zone at the moment. There is definitely more around about new highs, 350. Just quick look at this. Just going to open this up quickly. We're pretty much in the middle of all this, aren't we? But we're here. So there's some larger orders there, but equally there's some pretty big orders here. So we're stuck sideways, really. But these are up all-time highs up here.
Order filled.
Okay, just taking a riskier trade there. We got 1, 2, 3 touches there. Triggered above there. There's going to be some stops there. There's going to be some stops there, so hopefully that pushes through there. Slightly risky, it's a bit sideways, but we are bouncing off that top, and it is failing, so that'll probably work. It is more risky.
Target filled.
One more tick, beautiful. Another $600. It is more risky, that, but I don't mind trading evaluations on what I think is going to happen, what's likely to happen, not necessarily a setup. But you could probably call that. In fact, there is, well, yeah, I mean, it's a triple test. You clearly see it's working down there. We push up like that. You could say that's a second entry long, something like that anyway, but we trigger above it. Pretty much we're coming below there anyway, and when we do we're going to get a decent push. So when that started to move down, I jumped in there and picked up another, I don't know, $600-700, something like that. But you can clearly see what's going on, can't you? Once it gets below there and it's triggered there, if you've got a long there, you're going to have your stops below there, and as soon as it dropped below there, it dropped a reasonable amount anyway. So let me have a look. Okay, so we've had this channel down, we've had a break of it now, so if we can get a second entry short here, it may come down some more. Now, it is sideways, so it'll have to be a damn good looking one, because as we know, we're close to these all-time highs, and a couple of legs back, we may get a push up. Excuse me a sec. Okay, are we getting a push? so hard to trade this. There's just nothing. There's no larger channel there.
Order filled. Target filled.
Excellent. Another quick $800 on the CL. Hidden second entry short. Normally on the ES I wouldn't trust a trade like that as far as I could throw it, but it's worked there. Trading a little bit more aggressively because an evaluation worked beautifully. Clearly working down there. Nice looking channel, touch, multiple touches there up to the top. Second entry short, hidden second entry short, push up, sideways push up. I like the way it's triggered a bullish bar, and it worked. I think I got about $800 there, another quick $800. So this seems to be working much better. It's clearly working in a nice channel down there. If we can get a lower high here, I may jump in again. Second entry short, probably going to get, if we can just get up to that EMA again and finish bearish, then I'd expect that to get down below there. So it may just come down, which it looks like it's doing actually. There's just nothing you could do here. Okay, so looks like we're going to get a push for this. Oh, it's flickering. Go on, hit it. If we hit it, we'll either push up or go through or bounce maybe and come down. But either way, we'll get out of this sideways crap because it's just slow. It's flickering now, so there is a little bit more volume coming in. So if we can just get to it, we may get a little bit more volume in. See, the ES used to act like this. Going back a couple of years, you get a channel like that, you get a break like that, hidden second entry short, often it would just push straight down, make a new low, looks what it's doing. The ES, for some reason, when we get a break, half the time those get trapped, we get another leg up, and then we go sideways and eventually work our way down. The ES has almost got lost. It's lost its sort of sense of direction, if you know what I mean. But look how nice that channel's fitting multiple times. The second we get out there and get us a bearish bar, chopping that straight down. New, well, not quite a new low, but I mean, I'd comfortably enough to get out there, but it's just doing what it's supposed to. Break and then a new low. That's what the ES used to do, but this is almost like what the ES used to be. Look, I mean, look at that. Clearly 3 touches there. That one, if you'd have taken that one, it worked beautifully. You just don't seem to get setups like that. I mean, look at that. We're at matching lows at the moment. Hidden second entry short. Just worked beautifully. I wouldn't take a trade like that on the ES because I wouldn't trust it. Clear spike down, a little bit of pullback, create that top, touch, 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 all the way down. Bit of an overshoot there. Expect either a correction or reversal. There was your correction, and then into a reversal. Nice 500 tick chart. What am I looking at? My CL bars are very different from yours. On this, let's reload the historic. I haven't reloaded the historic on here, bud. Hey Chris, how you doing, buddy? Is that any different? In fact, that now, yeah, that now, in fact, I prefer the setup the way it was. Just goes to show, doesn't it? But the fact that we're holding there anyway. But yeah, it's different now, isn't it? Got a new bar. A bit bar. Oh, what? Yeah, can you spell it right, mate? What are you trying to say? But yeah, that's a bit better. What's this like? Yeah, that's pretty much the same. Same touch, 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 touch. 1, 2, 3. It's like a triple test. 1, 2, 3, and then down we go. And then overshoot with a reversal. Mine is the same as yours. Yeah, I hadn't reloaded my start, mate. I prefer it as it was. But we... So anyway, that's playing all right at the moment. Having said that, I am trading a bit aggressively, and some of my entries are going sort of on what looks like it's happening. So there is an element of luck there. I'm not taking great setups. It's just, you know, it's almost like taking a long ear. It's pretty much likely to work, especially if you're prepared to risk your whole stop. It's just this. It's crapping at this. At the moment, it's just side up a bit, sideways, down a bit, sideways, and slow as hell. Yeah, see, there is a lower high on the NQ. Sorry, on the CL. May have gone a bit too far, but we're flattening out there. See, so it may work. See, I probably wouldn't take that, but I don't know. This seems to be almost operating the way that ES used to, so who knows? What do you expect? A continuation or reversal? Continuation or reversal up here. Christ, I got no idea, mate, to be honest with you. I mean, I really don't know. I'm just wondering whether we may have something like that and a leg up. It's hard to say at the moment, mate, when it makes this. I think second entry long off the key entry points with a good signal bar is now an aggressive setup. Yeah. Yeah, it's. I mean, it went up and then it dropped, didn't it? So my experience is when price is going up really slowly, a lot of the time it'll drop quick because it's struggling to maintain that push up. So we're this close to all-time highs again, aren't we? So yeah, I wouldn't take a long. Even if you had a second entry long, I wouldn't take a long because we are struggling, and we'll only struggle for so much until it either pushes up or it drops. So yeah, unfortunately, as frustrating it is, you just can't do nothing. I've grown to learn over time that you just have to wait for a setup. So many times I'd go, oh, this looks like it's going to do this, or this looks... And it's very hard to control yourself. You're so eager to get a trade, and you're so eager to make money, and you just, patience aren't there, and you're just thinking, oh, this looks like this, and you jump in and you just get hammered. And after time, loss after loss after loss, you sooner or later just filter out all the crap and just wait for something that resembles a good setup, and then just go for it and commit. But at the moment, it's struggling to get up. It isn't really giving us anything. It's very choppy, so it's way dangerous to trade. And it's been this case a lot lately. And sometimes we just have a week or two or a few weeks when it does go a bit like this, and then all of a sudden we had it for a while, quite a while. And then all of a sudden we started getting setups. I took 3 trades in the space of 30 minutes, all really beauties. Mac marked them all, Thomas Wade marked them all, Marco marked them all, so they were all valid trades. And then I think we had one the following day, 2 the day after, another one. There was about 5 or 6 solid trades, comfortably. Really good setups. And then it will just go dull, bored, bland. Yeah, you just can't go long at the moment. I wouldn't want to go short at the moment. I mean, we've pushed up again. We could have one attempt to go lower, second attempt to go lower, reach these legs, and then have another go. But when it's like this, it really could do absolutely anything. So hard, isn't it? Very close to those all-time highs. Is that as close as we're getting, or we're going to have another go? I mean, literally, there's a point away. 3/4 of a point to the all-time highs. Is that as close as we're going to get? I mean, that's a pretty strong drop, isn't it? But it is struggling around here again, so...
Order filled. Target filled.
Okay. Another quick couple of $100 on that and on the CL. Just jumped in for a short just as it was about to go past there. Came down quickly. Yeah, I just took one on here, just a shorty. You can clearly see what's going on, can't you? Pushed up. As soon as it started to come about below there, I just jumped in for a couple of $100 there, straight through it. 1, 2, 3. That'll have triggered. That will have done. We look like we're getting some bottom in. So I'm just trading one evaluation on here, that's all. Just aggressively, but it's about $500 away from passing that one. So another quick half decent trade on there. But that's working like it should be. I mean, look how nice that's fitting. Beautifully. Fitting lovely. After that overshoot, I thought we might have a correction. Then we had 2 legs up, so I took a bit there. Took something else here. I can't remember what it was now, but so we got a spike down, little channel there with some nice setups there. That one I really liked. Actually, leg down, 1, 2, 3, triple test, trapping some longs, and that worked just beautifully, straight down. Overshoot here, which resulted in a reversal. Massive overshoot there. Same again, working down nicely in a reversal. Bit of an overshoot, 2 legs, but then we came up a couple of times and then down again. I think I took something there as well because we trapped them longs, but this is working like the ES used to. Really nice second entry short there, exactly where it should be, worked beautifully. And if you didn't get enough, it came back again. I mean, this is just working lovely. This is... This is, I mean, look at it compared to this. This is crap. I'm just going to continue to trade it. Excuse me, just for another week or two. Either on a sim or with an evaluation, just till I get confident in it. And then I'll start maybe. What I'd like to do is get 20 accounts and split them up 10 and 10. But whether I trade all 10 contracts on there, there's certainly more, so I may just do a few of the PA accounts on there. We'll see. don't like to just jump straight in with money. Okay, so little channel with a break. New low. Do I want to go long here? Not just yet. It may work, but we've been up here. We struggled to get up where we came down. We struggled to get up again and drop strongly. So I'm just not on the market for a trade here. It might work, but it's just too risky. You're using a 10 tick profit and tick stop loss on the sell. Yes, mate. Yeah, I am. Yeah. It's 500 tick chart. 500 tick chart, and it's a 10 tick profit. I'm just trading more contracts on at the moment because it's an evaluation, so I'm trading a little bit more aggressively. But yeah, 10 ticks and 2 contracts works out almost identical for this. 10 ticks on 2 contracts will make you 200 profit, which is exactly what I go for. And similar size stop loss as well. How you doing, Sean? Have I said hello to you, Kev? I think I have done. How you doing, buddy? You're further up, aren't you? Or have you not? You just come in? You have. How you doing? Oh, excuse me. This is boring the arse off me, this is. How long have we been going? It's just hard to trade this. Very little volume, just sideways. There's no real consistency. I mean, bottom's here, bottom here, down here, top. What do you do? What do you do? Can't believe how many days I'm getting with no setups or no trades. I think I took 2 trades the last week, all week. No, it works slightly different. I'll show you. Let's put that onto a sim and go with 2 contracts. So if I just sell
Order
it there,
filled.
I've got it worked out at about there. So there's me stop loss at the moment, which is set at about $250. Just trading 2 contracts and a 200. 10 ticks, 200. So the points don't sort of really add up. If you do this, it just doesn't really make much sense. Maybe it's a fraction of a point. I don't quite know how it works. All I know is Vladdy, or Vlad his name is, one of Max Mods, just goes for 10 ticks. And funnily enough, on 2 contracts, 10 ticks is $200, which is more or less where I go for. So usually stop loss is a little bit more risk, isn't it? So if you say your stop loss is here, it's a little bit more. So let's say I went for that bar there. I'm back a couple of ticks. So, I mean, that's a rather large bar, isn't it? So if I went for that, couple of ticks below that. So yeah, it's about the same. It's about the same. I mean, it's a little large of a bar. But yeah. So I just have mine set to 12 tick stop loss, 10 ticks profit, 2 contracts, and it's about right, $200. So
Order filled.
I hope that helps. And I didn't know either. The CL rolls over every month, apparently. I didn't realise. I thought, I thought because it's futures, it still rolls over quarterly. But yeah. I've never traded it before up until the last couple of weeks, so I had no idea until that reminder or setting popped up about it. Do you know what, folks? I'm going to knock it on the head today. This is just boring the hell out of me. It's just slow. It's just doing nothing. I mean, since we had the open, we've had that. That's it. You're welcome, Sean. That's it. That I don't think was a terrible trade. The reason I left it is my concern was after we pushed above this, we come back and retest it. And I was concerned we were going to have a leg, followed by a leg. Leg and a leg, and maybe retest this. Or did I have that down there, didn't I? Yeah. Leg down, a couple of attempts. Leg down, one attempt higher. That was my concern. It triggers above there, comes down for a second leg. You're welcome, Chris. Yeah, that was why I didn't take that leg and a leg. And it was a 3 1/4 point risk. So it was just a little bit above my comfort zone based on what I'm seeing at the moment. So there was a higher low there, a little bit far for a higher low, but it's catching that on the way up, and it worked. But then it's been sideways ever since. We've gone up a little bit and then down a little bit, but it's like 4 points from top to bottom. You can just get crucified in that. What is it? 5 points from top to bottom. If you're taking a trade here, you've got like 3 points to the bottom. It's just too risky. And it's slow. We could be sat here for another half an hour and have another inch load of setup. So it's boring me, this, at the moment, and it's just slow. The trouble is, when it's like that, it's easy to just, sometimes I've got some stuff I can do at the moment. Weather's nice in the UK at the moment. I've got some stuff to do in the garden. I know it's another day without any... it's another day without any trays, but hey, what can you do? What can you do? But it's so slow. Yeah, and we've heard Max saying when it's like this, just do something else. So hopefully if we can break this tonight eventually, or if not, at least push back from it. But let's see if we get a higher low there. Trouble is, we've been up here twice now. No, I'm going to leave it today. Let's just save the chart. It's just so quiet and the volume is low, and it is easy to get yourself into trouble. Might go have me dinner, do some stuff in the garden, come back, and I might trade the valuation later. We'll see. So 20th of the 5th, 24. That's the Q. Beautiful. So, okay, folks, that is it for today. If you're carrying on trading, best of luck. I hope something happens, because it's so damn slow, isn't it? So one attempt, second attempt. I wonder if this will trap their shorts here. But if we can get above here, or at least to this, and maybe reverse off it, we may get some more movement. But that is, literally in the last 2 hours we've had that. Is that right? Is it? It's 5 o'clock now, so that was 3 o'clock there. So in 2 hours we've had that. That's ridiculous for 2 hours. It's almost like trading on a half day when there's a bank holiday or something, and most of it's 99% of it's gone sideways. But I mean, you may take that. It may push up, or it may push up a bit, or come down. I got no idea. But it's boring the hell out of me. Is the red? Yeah, all-time highs here. We were up here a while ago, but we're getting close to it. We've had one push up and then another push, so you just don't know what's going to happen. But I'd like to either hit it, but if we can get a third attempt to hit it, and if we don't do that, we may get some moving the other way. But that's it for me anyway, folks. I might come back for an hour later and trade an evaluation. I've got 2 on the go here anyway. But just keep in mind the 90%'s on. I believe the 90% finishes in a couple of days. Let me just have a look. Sure, someone said to me they was continuing for the end of the month, but then on the website it doesn't say that. Let's have a look. Yeah, the 90% off is for 2 hours and so. Yeah, basically 3 hours. Is that right? Yeah, I think there's if I drag it in, it's just showing it. There's a couple of days left. 3 days left anyway, the 90% off. And I'm assuming we go back to 80% off for the remainder of the month. So that's interesting. So if you thought there's a higher low there off the bottoms, look what's happened. It's triggered it, and there's a big bearish bar forming. So that could bring that down. So there may be a trade there. My issue with that is there's a lot of support there. So it hasn't finished yet anyway. So, but it's so easy to just get involved, and I think this or I think that, and it is bouncing off there, but it's made a couple of attempts now. So I've got no idea what it's going to do. So look, if you're trading for the rest of the day, best of luck. I hope you get a setup. Failing that, have a great evening. I'll be back same time tomorrow. So appreciate all the comments. Nice to have a few new faces. And I'll be back same time tomorrow, just before the market opens. So have a great evening. Stay safe. And we will do it all again tomorrow. Bye for now.